upload our first screens. So I'm going to drag this out of the way a little bit so I can come down to my Udemy folder, and I'm going to drag the JPEGs. Let's go to our Udemy folder, and we're going to grab all of these JPEGs that we created, and this is why we save them as JPEGs, because we can't use Photoshop documents within InVision. So let's grab these, drag them all onto the drag and drop screen. I'm going to exit out. Okay, and we'll see these start populating. Now, we're not going to set a loading screen right now. We could use the loading screen that we created. Unfortunately, the loading screen needs to be saved as a .png. So what we could do is reopen it in Photoshop and just change the extension. But for now, this will be fine. And let's just wait for all these to upload. There we go. We have all our screens. I'm going to hit Control- to zoom out just a little bit. And I'm going to organize these in the order that they'll go. So we'll have our loading screen first. Let's find our registration screen second. Let's drag this down. Now we have sign up. There we go. We're almost in order. We just need to put this on the outside. There, so we have our loading screen, browse courses, our loading screen, getting started, sign in, featured, course, and then our search and settings screens. So now we're in order. Oh, settings is after wish list actually, so let's just drag and replace those. There we go. Now we can get into creating the actual links between these and how we'll click between them. So if you hover over the loading screen, let's click view screen. And you're going to get these pop-ups that are going to give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to use them. If you'd like, you can go ahead and select, okay, got it, next, and look through these. I'm just going to select don't show these helpers because I know what I'm doing. I've used this software for a while now. Okay, and there we have our first screen showing on an iPhone. Well, I want to change this to the iPhone 6 Plus. So I'm going to come down here and you're going to see, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know why they made it so difficult to find, but there's a little like gear icon, and it's a configuration. So if we open that, we can change the iPhone skin, and I'm just going to change this to the iPhone 6 Plus Black. And one other thing you'll notice at the very top, we designed our own status bar, but InVision provides the status bar, and this one's the black one. Make sure, as opposed to the foreground color being light or dark, you click transparent. Okay, there we go. And let's go ahead and save these configurations. Perfect. Now we can begin to create the relationship, but because this is a loading screen and we're not going to be clicking anything on here, we just want it to forward to the next screen. We can actually do something about that. Now let's click right here next to the eye. This is build mode and it's got a little dotted square with an arrow. And we are going to, as opposed to creating a spot to click, we're going to create a timer. So if you come up to the top and you'll see this little stopwatch, let's click that. We're going to select the destination, and this is going to be the registration screen. So select the registration screen, and let's have this go after 2 seconds, which would be 2,000 milliseconds. So let's change from 800 milliseconds to 2,000 milliseconds, and we're going to have that transition as instant. And let's go ahead and save this. Now we can view what we just did by selecting the eye tool while it's selected on the current screen. So if we look at our eye tool, we'll watch, and this after 2 seconds will forward straight to the screen we linked it to, which in this case is the registration screen. Now we're going to need to link this screen to the next screen. So we can do that by going back to build mode. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to create hotspots, and hotspots are the things that are going to recognize our touches and our clicks. So if we if we drag this little tool over the login button, which is the hotspot we're going to be creating, just want you to drag that out. We're going to be able to select another destination, and this time we're going to go to the login screen. And I want the gesture to be to a tap. But what's cool about InVision is that you can use different gestures. You can require a double tap. You can require a swipe left and right and up and down. So we're going to keep it on tap, and the transition is instant. Actually, I believe within the actual app, the transition is a flip. So we're going to use flip right, and that's going to give it a cool transition and the more accurate Udemy transition. So let's go ahead and just click save. And now when we view this, we can see what happens when we click the login. And this is also going to be, we're going to be able to do this on our iPhone as well and click the screen. So if we click login, and we didn't really see that cool transition, but it moved. Let's go back really quickly, and we can do that by going to Udemy. And let's look at the entire and everything we've built thus far. So we can click the first screen, and it's going to preview. It's going to automatically go to the Get Started screen. If we click Login, it's going to get that cool little flip, and we're going to be able to go to our sign-in screen. So you can see how we're beginning to put together the first steps of putting together this prototype. Well, let's look at the top really quickly. We notice that Envision's trying to insert a status bar right here, but we have our own status bar included. So you can either double click up here, or you can come back down to our settings, and let's click hide status bar. And this is only going to apply, you'll get a warning, it's only going to apply on our desktop. When we put it on our phone, it won't, but don't worry, we'll worry about that when we get to it. So now we can see our AceNet status bar that we created. That's awesome. Now let's begin to put together the rest of these screens and link them all together.